I am Mekatilili Menza. I was born when the land was still whole. The earth beneath my feet knew my name before my mother spoke it. The wind carried it through the palms, and the kaya held it in silence. I am Mekatilili Menza, daughter of the Giriyama, and this land, this red soil, these forests, these graves of our ancestors has always known me as its child. Before the strangers came, we measured time by rain and harvest, by birth and death, by the seasons of the spirit. Our laws were not written on paper. They were written in memory, in ritual, in the bones of our elders. The kaya was our court, our church, our history. You did not step into it without respect, and you did not speak falsely within its shadow. I learned early to listen. As a girl, I watched my grandmother pour libations to the ancestors, calling their names as if they were still seated among us. I learned that the living never walk alone, that every step we take is echoed by those who came before. I learned the songs sung when a community is wounded, and the dances that call courage back into broken hearts. When I married, I believed my life would be small and steady children, harvests, stories told by firelight, but the world was already changing. Even then, ships had begun to spit out pale men with stiff clothes and sharper words. They came carrying crosses in one hand and commands in the other. They said they had come to civilize us. When the earth was violated, they demanded our sons. They demanded our labor. They demanded our obedience. They said we must pay taxes for living on land that had held our ancestors for generations. They said our men must leave their homes to build roads and plantations for strangers. They said our ways were backward, our dances obscene, our gods false. One day they took my husband. They did not ask. They did not explain. They took him for forced labor, and the earth swallowed his footsteps as he walked away. He never returned. No body, no grave. Only silence where laughter had once lived. Grief sat in my chest like a stone, heavy and unmoving. But grief is not always quiet. Sometimes it sharpens. Sometimes it wakes you at night and asks what you will do with it. I chose to remember, finding my voice. I saw fear growing among my people, elders silenced, young men disappearing, women bending under burdens that were never meant to be theirs alone. And I saw something else, the belief among the colonizers that women were harmless. That belief became my doorway. I began to walk. From village to village, I carried my staff not to lean on, but to announce myself. I spoke in marketplaces under baobab trees, at the edges of the kaya where spirits listen closely. I reminded the Giriyama of who we were. Did our mothers carry us for 9 months so we could kneel to strangers? I asked. Did the ancestors protect this land so we could surrender it without a fight? When words failed, I danced. The Kifudu dance is not for entertainment. It is danced when the community stands at the edge of destruction. My feet struck the earth, calling the ancestors to witness what was being done to their children. My body spoke where my mouth could no longer carry the weight. Men wept. Women answered my call. Together with Wanje wa Mwadora Kola, we bound our people with sacred oaths stronger than chains. Oaths that said we will not be broken one by one. The British called it rebellion. I called it memory, the first capture. They came for me at dawn. Their uniforms were stiff, their faces confused. They could not understand how an old woman had unsettled their rule. In their eyes, power wore boots and carried guns. They did not yet know the power of belief. They dragged me before their officials. They mocked my age. They mocked my language. They told me I was finished. They sent me far away to kissy thinking distance would erase me. But how do you exile someone from their own spirit? I walked back through forests and plains, guided by the land itself. I slept where kindness found me. I listened to rivers, followed stars, trusted the ancestors. Each step was a refusal. When I returned, my people gasped. The British trembled. The second exile. This time, they were angrier. They sent me farther to Kismayu, beyond the land that knew my name. Prison walls tried to shrink me, but even there, my spirit walked free. I spoke to women in whispers, told them who they were, reminded them that empires fear memory more than weapons. War came for the British one, not of our making. Their attention fractured, their grip loosened. They released me quietly, as if hoping the world had forgotten. But the land does not forget its children. Returning home. I came home older, slower, but unbroken. I no longer needed to shout. My work had been done. The Giriyama remembered themselves. Resistance had rooted itself deep in the soil, waiting for the right season to rise again. When my time came to join the ancestors, I did not fear it. I had already walked with them in life. I did not leave behind monuments or titles. I left behind a truth, that a woman's voice can summon a people, that culture can be a shield, that the earth listens when its children speak. I am Mekatilili wa Menza, and as long as this land remembers, so will I.